Let's start with the rapid fire round. The first one is, at what age do you want to retire?
Financial independence is next step, and then we look from there.
How long does it take you to get ready in the mornings?
30 minutes. If I need to rush it, it can be 15.
Most embarrassing moment of your life?
Wow, none comes to my mind.
Favorite color?
Blue.
What time of day are you most inspired?
Probably in the morning, and then after work, if I do an after work run.
How many hours of sleep can you survive on?
I need my beauty sleep, 7-8 hours.
Fill in the blank. An upcoming technology trend is blank.
An upcoming technology is generative AI for real.
The city in which the best kiss of your life happened?
It's Düsseldorf.
Pick one, Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk.
It's probably Musk.
How do you relax?
Spending time with family.
How many cups of coffee do you drink per day?
I am down to 3 to 4.
The most valuable skill you've learned in life?
Patience.
Your favorite Netflix show?
Currently, it's Killing Eve.
One word description of your leadership style?
Hands-on counts as one.
Coffee or tea to kickstart your day?
Coffee.
Top priority in your daily schedule?
Getting organized in the morning.
Ideal vacation spot for relaxation?
Mediterranean island.
Key factor for maintaining a work-life balance?
Have a private life in the first place.
Memorable career milestone?
First promotion to managerial position.
Can you walk us through your journey from IBM to Lenovo and how your roles have evolved over time?
Yeah, so I'll give you the brief summary, right? So I joined IBM in 2001 as a key account manager in the PC business. I moved over to Lenovo with the acquisition of that PC business in 2005. Took the first managerial role in 2008, went international in 2010, had a couple of other stops in between, and here I am since 4 years in a role of SSG sales leader and then leader of our digital workplace solutions business in EMEA. Might sound a bit boring, only one company for so many years, but well, it was 12 bosses I worked for, it was 8 roles I worked for. I had the pleasure of managing 24 nationalities on an individual level directly, which was just a great experience. So I stuck around for longer than initially planned.
And so what advice would you give to someone transitioning between large tech companies like IBM and Lenovo?
I would argue it's most important to maintain your curiosity, be open-minded, accept the challenges as they present themselves, and then apply your skills to whatever emerging situation.
And so since you joined Lenovo, how's it changed as a company over all these years?
Oh, well, it's a tremendous success story. It's always good to take some time to remind myself, so to say. Yeah. So 2005 being bought out of IBM, then the PC business was fairly small globally, but we set the ambitious goal of becoming the market leader in PC, which we achieved after a couple of years. And then the company continued to grow. So today we look at Lenovo as a global technology powerhouse with like 60 billion in revenue, 70,000 people, a server business acquired from IBM, Motorola Mobility being part of the company. Yeah, so it's been an enjoyable ride over all those years.
And so what are the most significant cultural shifts you think you noticed at Lenovo during your tenure?
I would argue the shift was more drastic, let's say, moving out of IBM and moving into Lenovo, right? So IBM was very centralized in the decision-making and definition of strategy. At Lenovo, we pay a lot of attention to local market requirements. We don't, it's not as centralized as IBM used to be. So that's probably the most important cultural shift. and we have a very strong hands-on attitude. We all pull together in the same direction. So that's a work in my environment I simply like.
So what are some of the obstacles Lenovo has encountered during the service-led transformation?
Okay, yeah. So the service-led transformation is the latest step in the evolution, right? So Lenovo has created a dedicated services and solutions group, like 4 years back. That was probably, and we are evolving from being known as a very strong provider of hardware products for both infrastructure as well as workplaces. But now we more and more look at providing the end-to-end solution to our end customers, and in support of that goal, we have created SSG as a separate, strong business unit.
How do you manage the integration of hardware and service solutions to deliver a seamless experience?
So I think it's good to talk about how we drove the development and evolution of our services and solutions offerings. And I will call out that we co-created a lot of that with our customers, right? So a lot of the capabilities were initially piloted, initially invented, so to say, working with our customers and solving their individual challenges. Yeah, so that has been the recipe for success. And then we look at scaling out and scaling up beyond the initial core with a few customers we pilot things with.
Could you talk a bit about what your typical day looks like at Lenovo? You wake up in the morning and then?
Yeah, I wake up in the morning, and if I'm not on the road, I probably start relatively early, get in front of my PC, clean up my email backlog, get organized, as I mentioned earlier, for the rest of the day. And then there is a too big number of Teams meetings I am on, but still it's working internationally a lot, right? So it's and a very diverse set of activities, from discussing new offerings in the pipeline to having individual coaching discussions with one of my salespersons, to planning the next marketing event. So it's never a dull moment.
And how much of your time is taken up by meetings daily?
Yeah, probably more than half, which is not an ideal situation.
I see. So let's head back to the other questions. You're heading sales of Lenovo's digital workplace solutions in EMEA. Why is Lenovo entering this highly contested business?
Yeah, I would answer by saying why not, but I would also answer by saying it's a logical evolution of our services and solutions business. Again, we co-create a lot of those solutions with our customers, and a lot of the engagements are based on customers approaching us. Can you do more for us? Yeah. And obviously, it's a good additional business opportunity for us. It's a good opportunity to get closer to our customers, to evolve further beyond the traditional selling of hardware, and become the solution providers to our customers. And I will also say that it's probably a strong moment or a good moment in time to engage in that area. On a high level, our mantra for the digital workplace solutions is, well, let's look at what we can automate together with our customers. What we can't automate, put that on us, Lenovo, so you, dear customer, can take care of all those other priorities in IT, and you don't waste your time on, let's say, keeping the lights on tasks. Now, automation plays a key role, and obviously generative AI will accelerate automation and take automation opportunities to the next level. And we are building our digital workplace solutions portfolio based on AI-enabled tools.
And in all this, what role does customer feedback play in refining Lenovo's approach to digital workplace solutions?
It's an integral part, as I mentioned before. It's an integral part of how we set up our solutions, how we build our solutions, how we fine-tune the solutions along the way. So it's this type of sale only happens and works in very close cooperation with our customers.
And so what are some of the big drivers you see in digital workplace solutions today?
Well, I would say I don't envy any digital workplace leader out there, right? So there's all those priorities. There's regulatory requirements. They need to have an eye on sustainability. Employees are coming their way. I'm not happy with the support I'm getting. My machine is too slow. My machine is too old. Why can I not use my private machine in the company network, and so on and so forth? You have security considerations that play a role. So it's really a super challenging environment. But for us, it's very important to engage with customers and look at the outcomes that they want to achieve with the modernization of their digital workplace. And then we embark on a journey together to define priorities and work them off one by one.
And how has remote and hybrid work accelerated this need for digital workplace solutions? The pandemic, any of this has had any impact on it?
Oh, it had a massive impact. Yeah, overnight companies needed to shift people to working from home, and that was very much a ad hoc imposed move, and it worked a lot better than many anticipated. But it also brings a bit of a backlog of challenges that still need to be resolved, and that's where we are engaging with customers on now putting hybrid work models onto a more solid footing, helping them take an end-to-end look at their workplace environment, inclusive of meeting rooms, inclusive of office space, and how do we enable workers to be more productive and improve the digital employee experience.
And what outcomes do your customers seek to achieve most frequently when working with you to modernize their digital workplace?
So I think there is a base layer of maintaining and ensuring compliance, right? And security, that's a base layer. And then we engage with customers and they have different focuses. So they look at workplace agility and resilience in the light of hybrid work environments. They have a big initiative around improving the digital employee experience and drafting and architecting a great user experience. They are focused mostly on efficiency and effectiveness of their workplace environment. But I want to tell you a story. We had a very good customer session lately, and we had a very long session, and we discussed what are your priorities, how do we see the world, how do you see the world, and we've done a lot of discussion, a lot of good alignments. And then the CIO, who was a heavier bearded man, he said quiet for most of the discussion, but then in the end he said, listen, there's one point is missing from my perspective, and that point is simplicity. Because if we strive for simplicity, we get all the rest automatically. Users like simplicity, simple processes are more sustainable. Security is easier to manage if we strive for simplicity. So that has become my personal mantra. I'm picking that idea from a dear customer to strive for simplicity in all we do around digital workplaces.
So you also mentioned sustainability. What role does sustainability play in digital workplace solutions then?
Yeah, I would say it permeates the digital workplace solutions from start to finish, so to say. Yeah, I think we have a very strong view on how to optimize the digital workplace and the device lifecycle also from a sustainability perspective. Starting from how do we ship the goods from factory to the end customer? How many shipment legs do we have? How can we optimize CO2 emissions along the life cycle? Then along the life, how do we support it more efficiently? How do we avoid unnecessary sending back and forth of devices, sending technicians on site? How can we streamline this? And then there's a big role, obviously, of retirement processes at the end of the life cycle of devices. And we look at it from cradle to grave and how can we optimize across the whole life cycle.
And so how do you see sustainability priorities evolving within the workplace solution sectors over time?
I think it is a bit about picking the low-hanging fruits first, and that is what we work on with customers. There is a number of customers who do not have a retirement process for old assets. That is something that can be fixed fairly simple. But then you need to get deeper, and you need to take that end-to-end holistic approach and holistic view. And we also offer customers tools, a new tool now called Lissa, that helps them to assess with what is a very important task, assess their CO2 emissions baseline first. So that is the first step, obviously. Be transparent, be clear where you are. Then we define where you want to get to, and we align on measures to be taken.
So we have an audience question. People want to know what kind of talent would you be looking for people who want to join Lenovo and work with you? What kind of skills, what kind of talents is Lenovo looking for currently?
So a dear colleague of mine said fairly early in my career, hire for attitude, train for skills, right? So it's mostly about the attitude. It's about curiosity. It's about adaptability. It's about flexibility. And enthusiasm is very important. If I see the spark and the light in somebody's eyes during the interviews, that does half of the trick.
Let's talk a bit about the talk of the town now, AI. What impact does AI have on Lenovo in general and on your area of responsibility in particular?
Yeah, we cannot not talk about AI, but I'll give you a couple of perspectives. So first one is differentiate between Lenovo internally and then what do we do externally. Lenovo internally has been utilizing AI for years, right, to optimize our supply chain, to optimize demand planning processes, to optimize our logistics networks. So that's a little bit not cold coffee, and the evolution continues, but we have been using it internally for very long. Now, from an external perspective, there's again a couple of dimensions. The one is it's obviously a great driver for our core business in intelligent devices, where the next generation of products will come with neural processing units, enabling faster processing of local AI workloads. There is a big momentum building for our infrastructure solutions group business, where we also offer the, let's say, infrastructure side of things and solutions. And yes, there's great momentum for our services and solutions group. And again, it's two ways. Yeah, we look at how do we enable more traditional services utilizing generative AI, and then we look at native AI services, AI consultancy services, where we help our customers embark on the journey of their individual implementation of AI, and we pull from our internal experience, from the experience with other customers, to help them on their journey.
And what ethical considerations does Lenovo take into account while implementing AI in its services?
I'm happy about the approach that Lenovo has taken here. We were very cautious when ChatGPT and so on started up, so there were restrictions in place immediately on the internal usage before things got clarified, and that is now opened up gradually. And the ethical considerations are a top and the number one priority for Lenovo. Hence, we also look at 3 levels of AI. So you have the private level that really resides on an individual's machine potentially. Then you have the corporate or the organizational level, which is the next layer in terms of privacy concerns. And then you have the public world, which is the open world. And that thinking and that categorization helps us navigate and steer our way through the complex world of AI and AI use cases and AI tools finding their way.
How has the evolution of customer expectations in the tech industry influenced selling of Lenovo's services and solutions?
I think the complexity has exploded, if you wish. So we face ever bigger buying centers on the customer side. Those decision makers are better informed these days. We recently, I think there are studies that say before in a professional B2B sale, any customer engages potential suppliers, they are like 60% down the road of their individual purchasing decision, right? So we need to level up our game, and we have leveled up our game to cater for that, right? If you think you survive going out to a customer pitching your standard solution, you are probably dead. You need that consultative approach. You need to engage in a discovery fashion with customers to get a seat at the table. And then as customers open up, they are obviously more and more interested to hear our viewpoint, hear our experience in the vast number of projects that we drive.
And what changes have you observed in customer purchasing behaviors over the last few years?
I think the decision makings has gotten longer and longer, given also the buying centers have become bigger. We see quite a few projects stalling or going one direction first and coming back from a different direction a little bit later. But it's ever more important to work with the customers to identify the compelling reasons to act early in the sales cycle, and then move a targeted project through the sales cycle in a targeted fashion.
So speaking of customer decisions then, marketing plays a key role in solution sales. How do you align your sales strategy with Lenovo's marketing efforts to drive growth?
So we are very closely aligned and talk about digital workplace solutions as an example. The first step is we need to build awareness. That's why we are at events like this, the TechX in Amsterdam, We need to get out. We need to spread the message, make customers aware. Hey, Lenovo is not ThinkPad or some hardware stuff. Lenovo is your end-to-end solution provider. And for that, we then work very closely with our marketing colleagues to define the adequate tactics and execute the adequate tactics in a, again, globally consistent but locally efficient manner.
So how do you tailor marketing strategies to different regional markets, particularly in EMEA?
So it's event-based marketing in some of the markets. It's more more generic outreach in other markets. So you always need to understand also the different levels of maturity that, in all honesty, Lenovo's business has across those different markets, right? By no means is our business homogeneously developed in all those markets. So you need to cater for what does the market require, where's Lenovo's maturity, and then define the right set of marketing tactics and initiatives.
So looking at your career as a whole now, you've been working internationally for more than 15 years. What are your most important observations working in regional or global sales roles?
So I enjoy working internationally a lot. It's the salt in the soup of my workday, and it helps me stay on my toes. It helps me take in different perspectives. It helps me learning from everyone, and the curiosity helps me along the way. Yeah, and then you can say, well, in some ways, selling products, selling solutions is the same globally. You could say same but different, maybe, or you could say different but same in the core of selling it. I think you need to figure out the nuances, and you need to be aware of the common core principles of the sale, and then you will be successful.
So what advice would you give to someone aiming for a leadership position in sales or business operations within the tech industry?
I think it's all about curiosity and maintaining that curiosity. It's about adaptability, being flexible. It's about being patient at times, when patience can be a good advice, but then also being divisive and ask for your next career move when you feel it's the right time and the right opportunity you are pursuing.
All right, so the last question for you is of a personal kind. What would you be doing in your life if not this?
I'd be a shepherd on a Greek island. I am Ben Schneider, Head of Digital Workplace Solution Sales at Lenovo. Catch me on the Technologist of the Month show.